Welcome to this week's iClass given by Rabbi Mendy Loewenthal from Chabad of South Kensington. This week's Parshah starts with the words Re'ei Anochi Nosein Lifnechem Hayom Bracha Uklala. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. Moses goes on to describe how when the Jewish people will go into Eretz Yisrael, then there will be a big blessing and cursing ceremony on Mount Gerizim and Mount Abel. Those were two mountains. It's interesting to note that the verse uses this expression, I set before you today. Our rabbis teach that whenever the Torah uses the word today, it means that this message is for every day, because in a sense, every day is today. Let's take a look at the wording of this blessing. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. The Torah uses the word lifnechem for the word before you. The word lifnechem translates as in front of you. One could suggest that it would make more sense for the Torah to use the word lachem, which translates more simply that Hashem is presenting us with a blessing. To summarize our questions, why does the Torah use the word lifnechem instead of the word lachem? Number two, why does the Torah use the word today in this section for this particular blessing and not for other blessings in the Torah? These two questions are asked by the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, in his monumental work, Likutei Torah. He explains that everyone has an inside and an outside. The word for inside is panim. So we have a panim, or pnimi, and outside. When Moses gave the Torah on Mount Sinai, the Torah tells us that Hashem spoke to us panim to panim. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 4. Face to face, the Lord spoke with you at the mountain. In an esoteric sense, the Torah is telling us that Hashem's inside, his panim, spoke to our inside, our panim. So in simple English, the verse is telling us that Hashem's heart spoke to our heart. What is Hashem's heart? Hashem's heart is the name Yud and Hey and Vav and a Hey. Hashem's heart, i.e., his name, went inside of us. How is Hashem's name inside of us? Let's read Tanya chapter 18. Therefore, as a rule, even the most worthless of the worthless and the sinners among Israel sacrifice their lives for the sanctity of God's name. This is so because the one God illuminates and animates the entire soul through being clothed in its faculty of chachma, which is beyond any graspable knowledge or intelligence. Even the most seemingly unholy person, when pushed, will never give up their Jewish identity. It makes no sense. Imagine ourselves just a few hundred years ago during the Spanish Inquisition. Wouldn't it just make sense for the Jewish people to give up their religion? Why the stubbornness? Why are we holding onto our mitzvahs so tight? The Tanya is saying that we have an illogical spark of dedication inside of us. In Kabbalistic language, this spark is called Chachma. Through the most trying situations, the Spanish Inquisition, Holocaust, communism, etc., we Jewish people have a side of us called Chachma that will and cannot let go of our Jewishness. One could ask that if so, how come we sometimes see Jewish people seemingly do things that seem very un-Jewish? How is it possible for people to sin? How is it possible for us sometimes not to be as good Jew as we could be? Let's take a look at Psalms chapter 89 verse 1. Maskil of Eitan the Ezrachi. In the simple meaning, the verse is introducing a psalm written by or written for Eitan the Ezrachite. On a deeper level, the word maskil means wisdom, chachma. Eitan are the 4 Hebrew letters that are used to indicate the future tense in the Hebrew verb structure. The psalm is telling us that we will have this chachma, maskil, in the future when Mashiach comes. And now, what happens to our illogical dedication? Tanya chapter 24. No man commits any transgression unless a spirit of folly has entered into him. For even an adulterous woman with her frivolous nature could have controlled her passionate drive, were it not for the spirit of folly within her, which covers and conceals the hidden love within her divine soul that yearns to cleave to her faith in God. Do we love Hashem? Yes, we love Hashem. It is just that we become drunk. Something else takes us over and causes us not to act ourselves. But the psalm has a message of hope. Maskil for Eitan the Ezrachite. The word Ezrach means citizen. This illogical dedication to our Jewishness is ours. Just like a citizen has rights to live and own land, so too we also have rights to this illogical dedication, this chachma. To summarize, we have asked, how is Hashem's name inside of us? We have illustrated that we sometimes express an illogical and senseless dedication to our Jewishness. We have identified this dedication by calling it Chachma. Chachma is the first letter of the divine name Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. The next letter of the divine name is Hey. The letter Hey is wider than the letter Yud. Hey is the breadth of understanding. We contemplate our Jewish connection, and it makes sense. The Zohar says that we need this balance of dedication and contemplation in order to have a healthy Jewish balance. But not to forget that in hard times, it is the illogical dedication that has pulled us through. The next letter is Vav. The Vav is long and narrow, just like a river that flows from the mind to the heart. It is healthy to connect our minds to our heart. The next letter is the last letter Hey. Hey is wide. It spreads out and expresses to the outside world the secrets of the heart and the mind. The Hey is the garments with which we vest our innermost ideas and beliefs. We think about them. We speak and we do. Thought, speech, and action. Today, the Torah says that Hashem's name is not complete. Today, the name is not complete. Today, we can feel passionate about something. We can say, I love you, or I care about you. At the same time, we can find our actions not reflecting our feelings. It's not that we don't love. We do love. We feel love. We are just fragmented. Our inner hearts and minds don't connect to our thought, speech, and action. We have a thick layer of spiritual cholesterol over our hearts. There is a blockage between what we feel and what we do. Let's read Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 16. Circumcise, therefore, the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. Another verse, chapter 30, verse 6. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God. 1 second. In chapter 10, it says that we should circumcise. And in chapter 30, it says that Hashem will be doing the circumcision. What's going on? Who should be doing the circumcision? Us or God? Okay, so let's think about this. Today, we can feel strong love, but not act upon it. There are two loves, external love and internal love. We need to connect our hearts and our thoughts, speech and action. We need to connect the way we feel inside to how we actually relate to others. And then Hashem will do a circumcision, stage 2, and ignite our internal love. So now we will go back to our original questions on the Parshah. This week's Parshah is opening with a message of hope and reality. It is telling us that Hashem is setting before us, Lifnechem, to our pnimius, our inside, our inner Jewish self. Hashem is connecting to our inner Jewish self today, every day. Hashem is giving us the tools to unblock our spiritual cholesterol by doing a mitzvah. A mitzvah is a blessing, a bracha. It is a blessing that we are able to do a mitzvah. Ask a centipede how it walks. It will get all confused if it tries to explain. It just walks. When our inner hearts and minds are working in healthy sync to our external selves and how we really relate to other people, we don't feel it. We are just healthy. We love because we love. We do a mitzvah because we do a mitzvah. It is our blessing. Shabbat Shalom.